Rashida Tlaib has refused to condemn chants of death to America. But before we get there, I think you have to have a bit of a setup of how we even got to her refusing to condemn it.
It's the United States government that provides the funds for all of the atrocities that we just heard about. And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth. And so when these fools ask us if Israel has the right to exist, the chant "Death to Israel" has become the most logical chant shouted across the world today.
Is that somewhere in the Middle East? No, of course. That is somewhere in the Middle West. That is in Dearborn, Michigan. You are seeing that chant break out, "Death to America," as well as obviously, that's what they say, the most logical.
Yeah, the most logical chant is "Death to Israel" in this time.
However,
but also they threw in "Death to America." He quoted favorably the Ayatollah Khomeini from Iran.
You can see or hear chants of "Death to America" and "Death to Israel." And essentially, the protesters are embracing what might be called the Cloward Peven revolutionary strategy. Who is Cloward? Who is Piven? Those are two Columbia University sociologists who've adopted a revolutionary approach to destroying the market system and essentially destroying America. And how do you do that? You focus on identity and you focus on alleged oppression. And so in this particular case, the protesters are casting the entirety of America and particularly Israel as oppressors, and they see themselves as oppressed people.
Hillary Vaughn from Fox News approached Rashida Tlaib in the hallway, as they do, as reporters do, to address what happened.
Congresswoman Tlaib,
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting "Death to America." Do you condemn?
I do not talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of "Death to America"?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting "Death to America"? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is "Death to America" racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting "Death to America" racist?
I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
And there you have it. So being confronted with what do you have to say about people in your district, in your area, screaming "Death to America." How do you feel about that? And she says, "I'm not talking to Fox News. You guys are the racist."
The inability and outright refusal of Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib to condemn it. I understand she used it as a political moment to go after Fox News, but wouldn't you think with the state of affairs in the United States and what was being said at the rally, she could have both said, "I don't normally talk to you, but of course I condemn Death to America"? What do you think her play was there by refusing to answer the question?
She is playing brilliantly, if you will, the oppression card, and it will play well, unfortunately, in her district. And it will help ensure her reelection. So she's not playing to the American people. She's focused on her particular district. Now, I think in the scheme of things, this perhaps hurts the Democratic Party, but I'm not sure she's particularly concerned about that. I think she is a particularly self-interested individual.
What if a group of people were out with signs saying "Death to Democrats"? How quickly do you think that would get shut down?
The FBI would be there immediately, and rightly so.
Yeah,
and rightly
should,
so.
Rick.
They should not be chanting death to Democrats. I do think to some degree, though, maybe Democrats don't see themselves as categorized as Americans in chants like that because they don't seem as outraged as they should. But it's very offensive.
I don't think we should allow anyone, any Democrat, to go a single minute without responding to those threats. We should ask everybody whose party these folks are from, do you support that? Are these the kind of people that you think represent and reflect our nation and its Judeo-Christian founding? If you do, fine, let us know. But folks who are seeking the support of the American people ought not to be condoning or encouraging or even tacitly acknowledging the acceptability of what these people are saying in Dearborn, Michigan today. We've known this for a long time. This anti-Semitic, anti-American movement inside of our country is bigger than we wish it were, and it's each of our responsibility to push back against it.
Obviously, we've seen pro-Palestinian / pro-Hamas protests around the world, in every part of the Western world and in the Middle East. We've seen these protests break out, but this one was specifically in Dearborn, Michigan. In the middle of the country, where it seems like we had on Harry Hutchinson, who's, regardless of how you feel, a lot of America was made in that state, right. Whether that is music, whether that is motors, some of the most important things that have come out of Michigan. And I love Michigan from that sense. I love some of the history that is there. But when you have now this, and in Minnesota as well, another state that I just love, but has been sadly become these places where it feels like anti-Semitism is not only accepted, but it's advertised to where you have to bow down to it.
Well, in the fact that people feel comfortable enough to do this at a rally. Like this wasn't, you're hearing from, this
leaked video
exactly.
Inside of an
no,
Islamic
this was a
center.
filmed public rally.
These folks who are here in America chanting death to our nation, I think reflect an idea of Israel and Hamas as morally equivalent that Secretary Blinken came dangerously close to uttering. That is a really dangerous thing for the United States of America.
Do you know if any of the federal law enforcement agencies have made an official statement regarding the protesters' remarks, and would it violate their First Amendment right to at least start an investigation on them?
I don't believe there has been any statements made. We heard from the Biden administration because they were confronted with it, but I don't believe we've heard. It's just been a day.
I did check to see if there had been any, even a press statement given by a spokesperson. Nothing from either the Department of Justice or the FBI. However, Christopher Wray will be at that appropriations hearing this afternoon. I'm curious if any members of Congress will bring it up because he's expected to say in his opening statement that there's an elevated threat to the U.S. public safety and national security while asking for more money. I have a feeling that some of the members of Congress that are on that panel may say, well, hey, maybe are you talking about this? Is this an elevated threat when they're chanting death to America? So no, but it does get tricky, Ashley, when it comes to the First Amendment, because there is that line, and that's what Logan got in that discussion earlier with Professor Hutchison about when does it cross the threshold of violent rhetoric, actual threat that wouldn't be protected under the First Amendment. So that is a little bit trickier.